Hi, welcome to my video on the ACEHE or ACEHE Selfie Stick Integrated Tripod. Now I bought this off Amazon for $14.99. You have a picture of the collapsible selfie stick on the front. This is the lengthening edition. It is wireless. It has a built-in light. It has a collapsible length of 7 inches and an extended length of 26.8 inches. It's built up of ABS plastic and stainless steel body pole. The phone mount is capable of turning 360 degrees. It has a collapsible length of 7 inches and an extendable length of 26 inches. It is wireless, it's foldable, and it is durable. Now on the back of the box it states, you see a picture of the actual selfie stick itself with the legs splayed out. It has an integrated remote and a pocket for it to put the shutter button. It also tells you the specifications of what the actual selfie stick is made of, and also the battery requirement for the shutter button, capable to work with iOS devices and Android. Now in the box you get the selfie stick itself, you get a charging cable, and also you get a small little leaflet stroke instruction book. Now this is the selfie stick itself. It's a very compact selfie stick tripod. It is made of ABS plastic with the stem is stainless steel. Now the unique thing with this selfie stick tripod, not only it doubles up as a tripod for the selfie stick because it has legs in the handle, but also it has a integrated light on the top here. There's several modes to this light up here. There's the off and on button here, and to switch it on you simply press the button at the side, press and hold, and we have the first mode here. And I'm trying to get it into focus, folks, but we have the first mode here, which is this soft kind of amber light. And we press again, brings you to a brighter amber light. We press again, we get a soft white light or natural light. Press again, and we get a bright white light. And then we press again, and we get a kind of integrated light between the soft white light and the amber light. And press again, we get a brighter version of that same light between the soft and day light. And then press and hold, and it's off. So there's 6 modes to light, which is built into this selfie stick. We come down to the clamp part of the selfie stick, and we have this nice integrated folding kind of clamp to the selfie stick itself, which is made out of ABS plastic. We have a rubber on the bottom of the clamp here, and there's a rubber at the top part of the clamp. Pity that it's not the same color as the clamp itself. These are light gray in color. The clamp itself is spring loaded with a semi squeaky spring to it. Now this clamp is capable of taking all sizes of phones, from your minis right up to your notes, can fit into this clamp here. And obviously it does fit in there landscape way when placing your phone in there. The clamp itself has a 360 degree, well, almost 360 degree turn to it, because the light blocks where the actual arm is on the clamp. You can't get a 360 degrees, but you can go from portrait to landscape with this clamp on there. Now the clamp sits on this arm here, which has a kind of dark mirrored background. It doesn't really act as a mirror, but it's a nice glossy finish plastic on the back, and it sits on this kind of L-shaped arm. And we do not have any access to the screw to this clamp here, so you can't fix this in place how you want it. The only thing that you can do is that because it is notchy, as you can hear, you can turn to a notch and it will hold your phone within that angle anyway. So there's no visible screw whatsoever. Now we come to the stem itself, and the stem is made out of stainless steel, and this relies on friction to keep each section locked into place. And it's the old-fashioned car aerial type stem. I have to say that with these car aerial type stems, some of them do have a kind of smell to them of metal, and this one doesn't seem to have that kind of smell whatsoever. Now we have a small integrated shutter button here, what sits in its own holder, and to take the shutter button out if you need to, you simply, where the arrow is on the actual button, you push it up and it slides out on its own little rail on either side, which accommodates for this shutter button. Now the shutter button is made out of plastic, but I'll come to that later on details about that. So it sits in this nice little pocket, which is also made of plastic. And we come down to the handle itself, which is, I have to say, is very, very smooth, this handle. There's not much grip in it whatsoever. Really smooth, no pattern whatsoever on there. But it integrates out into these 3 legs here with a locking system on each of these legs to lock them into place, and snaps it into place. And we have the rest of the actual stem at the bottom, which is not fixed, so this can move up and down along with the rest of the stem. As you can see, as I stated before, it has this compact size, perfect for your bags or pocket, coat pocket. So it collapses down to about 7 inches. This is how the ACEHE or ACEHE looks when it's fully extended. Now I have to give one thing to this company, is the length of the selfie stick, and they have got it right. They have actually done the actual measurement, the extended measurement of the actual stem itself. So they have not included the top, and nor have they included the actual handle stroke legs. So the actual measurement on the box of 28.18 inches is between these 2 points here. So they have actually got that right. I'm going to do the wobble test. And as I wobble this, I have to say, for a car aerial type stem, it is quite stiff. It's one of the stiff ones, I have to say. And I know people are going to say all stems are going to be stiff when it comes to selfie sticks, but this, for a car aerial type, there's practically no kind of issues with this stem whatsoever. It doesn't feel like it's going to snap into 2. Now it does open up into 7 sections. Each of the sections are not very big whatsoever on this selfie stick. On each of these sections, they're quite small. They're practically roughly just under 4 inches on each of these sections, which is quite good. Now for the stem itself, as I said, it opens up into 7 sections. We have just 1 seam running down the very front of the selfie stick itself. We have an extra kind of rim here, so we have the last rim or the first rim here, and we have this kind of extra indentation here around on the last rim to give it more adequate strength. It does rely on friction to keep each section in place. Now as for the mount up here, the mount is totally made of plastic, what's all plastic, ABS plastic, and it is fastened to the stem by glue and this indentation. Now I'll try and pick it up on the camera, folks. There's this indentation, 2 indentations on this side here and 2 indentations on the other side. So this is what keeps the mount attached to the stem. As for the phone clamp here, as you can see, it has your phone in a landscape position when you first place your phone in there with the light at the top. Now if you want to put your phone into a portrait position, you simply slide your phone across a bit and simply turn the actual phone clamp, and now we got the portrait position. Now be aware that the light is now on the side when you're going to have it for portrait. For the shutter button, it is a very small shutter button. It's just over an inch in length and about half an inch in width for this shutter button. Now this uses a very small CR1632 battery, and you do not get a spare one. Now that battery, I call it the fingernail battery because it's as small as your index fingernail that goes into this remote. Now it's a bit of a fiddly remote because you have to pair it open from the back here, from this little stub here. You have to insert a small screwdriver and it pairs into two sections. Now be aware when you're doing that, that this actual button here is removable and you could lose that, so be aware of that. Pair the actual shutter button to your phone, whether it's an Android phone or a iPhone. If you're an Android user, you're going to have to put your phone in discoverable mode so that your phone can see the selfie stick when it's pairing. For iOS users, you just don't have to do that. Just simply go to your Bluetooth settings. Now to pair the actual remote to your phone, you hold down on this button, on the shutter button itself, and next to the shutter button, which is very hard folks to get it in, but there's a small blue light will start flashing. When it does, the phone will pick it up and it should come up as, see if I can find it, as selfie cam. It'll come up as selfie cam. You simply touch the word selfie cam, it will ask to pair. You press the pair button. There is no code to place in there, no set of numbers, neither. You just simply press pair and then your shutter button will pair with the phone and connect to it. We're going to see if the shutter button is either muted by the phone and we don't hear it when we press this, or if we do hear it. So we're going to press the shutter button. I'm going to have it close to my microphone here, and let's see if we get a noise of the actual shutter being pressed from the phone. So we're going to press the button and you can hear that, and I'm going to stop the video and it doesn't mute the noise. So we're going to put it onto photo. That was on slow-mo, so we're going to put it onto photo, and then we're going to take a picture now. I'm going to press the button and it doesn't mute, and I'm going to press it again and it doesn't mute. So the shutter button, the phone actually picks it up and it doesn't mute the sound of the shutter button. Now as for distance in using the shutter button, you can use this up to 10 meters away from the selfie stick with your phone on there in clear line of sight. If there's anything blocking the line of sight between the shutter button and your phone on the selfie stick, this would not operate. And to switch off the selfie stick, the shutter button, you simply do a 5-second press on the button itself and that will shut it off. It also switches it on as well because there is no timer or sleep function within this shutter button. I might get asked this as a question: does the shutter button here operate when taking a photo with the light or a video with the light at the top? It does not operate that whatsoever. So if you're going to need the light, you're going to have to switch it on by the button at the top here. The shutter button only operates your camera in your phone. It does not also operate the light. It doesn't do that whatsoever. This is how the selfie stick looks, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I seem to be getting the name mixed up with this and not pronouncing it right. But this is how the selfie stick looks when it's fully extended. Now, I have to bring you a caution about this selfie stick. It is not suitable for outside, even though I've shown you some shots in the B-roll of it being outside. It is definitely not an outdoor selfie stick when placing the legs out. It's more of a tabletop or desktop selfie stick. Even on this floor here, and I'm talking to you at this close with these floorboards going under there, there is wobble to this selfie stick. And I have to say it's due to two things. One, the legs don't spread out very wide whatsoever. It heavily relies on the stem touching the ground here. And I'll try and zoom in on that one, but it relies on the stem touching the ground. If you bring the stem all the way up into the selfie, into the handle, then it is very, very shaky and wobbly. This really is for desktop and tabletop when you're going to have it out like this, and to use the tripod legs. And this is part of a video where I do my 2p worth on the ACEHE or ACEHE selfie stick tripod. Start off with the negatives first. First negative has to be with the legs of this selfie stick tripod. It has the most, I'd say the legs are not flimsy, but they're very short. These legs are really short. Also, it also relies on using the middle stem as well. Without the middle stem being in there, this thing is very wobbly. And has the potential of toppling over. Another negative has to be with the selfie stick tripod is it's more of an indoor tabletop or desktop selfie stick than an outdoor. Because of the aerial type stem itself, it's not very strong and it is prone to be blown over. Another negative has to be with the shutter button here. When replacing the battery, you have to be cautious. Not only the battery is very small to go into this thing because it uses an CR1632 battery, which I call a index nail fingernail battery that it uses, but also the potential of losing this button here because the button is not exactly attached to the body of the shutter button itself, so you may lose this button, so be aware of that. And the last negative has to be with the actual mount where the clamp fits here. There's no adjustable screw in there. It purely relies on the notchiness of the actual clamp itself to get the different degrees that you need for your phone. Now, after a while, this backwards and forwards with the clamp, it will start to wear down these notches because after all, it's plastic rubbing against plastic within this clamp, and that will wear down and it will no longer want to stay into place, so be aware of that. One very last negative, which I almost forgot, is to do with the light. Not so much the actual functions of the light and the two types of lights that you get, that's okay. That this light does not shut down along with the actual shutter button. You can't operate the light with the shutter button. It doesn't operate like that whatsoever. You can't, the shutter button doesn't have a sleep function to shut it down if it's not in use. That doesn't have it, nor does the light. So if you leave the light on, even on its lowest setting, and don't switch it off, you will kill the battery with inside the light here. And now for the positives. Positives of this, I'm going to list off a couple of them. First of all, it is the compact size of this thing. It's ideal for bags, especially you ladies, for your small bags. It's ideal for that. And for you gents, it's ideal for your coat pockets and jacket pockets for its size. Another positive has to be its price. Now, since I've made this video, it is dropped down on Amazon UK for £9.79. at the time of when I made this video. Now, when I purchased this at the time, it was at $14.99. So there's a drop here. And I positively think that the actual drop of being below £10 is the right price for this as a handheld selfie stick. Now, the next positive is this is good as a handheld selfie stick, not as a tripod selfie stick, for the reasons I gave in the negative. And one thing I did miss off the negative is that the bottom of these legs here, which doubles up as a handle, has no rubber attached to it whatsoever, so there's no grippiness on these legs. The positive has to be with the light at the top here. I like how it gives you 6 functions of the light and also 2 different lights it gives you. Now, the 6 functions I showed you earlier on in the video, from a very dim to a very bright in the 6 functions. But the 2 sets of lights it gives you is, it gives you a amber type light, mainly for skin tones, that is. And then it gives you a natural daylight, which is a bright white light representing the daylight. So it gives you them 2 kind of lights. So I do like how they give you that. Now, this is my overall conclusion on the ACEHE or ACEHE integrated selfie stick tripod. This comes under the heading as lose it and forget it selfie stick tripod. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if you're going abroad and you happen to lose this, you're not losing much money from it because it's under a tenner at the moment. And if you forget it while you're on holiday, then you're still not losing very much money. It is a suitable selfie stick tripod also for kids. If you want to let kids use it, so it's suitable for them. Also, it's suitable for your nights out. If you're having a night out, whether at a club, bar, restaurant, whatever, and you need a selfie stick, especially with one with a integrated light in there, for its price, it is not too bad, because what you get with this, you can either use it in portrait and landscape with the light, so that's not too bad for that. If you're going to use this for outdoors, this is not the one to have. I would look elsewhere or look at the others that I've reviewed, which are more suitable for outside. This is more to do with an indoor thing than an outdoor thing, and even then indoors, it has to be on a very secure table. Any wobble or anybody or surface like a bar or stuff, items like that, like a bar or a desk that's not movable, then it's suitable for that. Anything that has a vibration or somebody knocks it and it vibrates, this will topple over. Now, if you happen to have, and I'm not going to go through the name of this selfie stick again, but if you happen to have this particular selfie stick, please let us know down in the comment section what your thoughts are about it, because obviously your opinions are different to my opinions. Thanks for watching the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. I perfectly understand my videos can be long, but I like to go into detail on the item or the product, so when you get it, you know what to expect. Please subscribe to my channel if you like the channel. I'll be grateful for that. And I'll see you next time.